guilt a woman. Like, they spoke about this being like a feminist podcast and a feminist movement. That doesn't feel feminist to me. That feels like pointing blame at someone.
Dave, when you had your kids, were you a powerless pawn of the hospital system? Or did you take back your power and have your kids with no medical support, no doctors, no midwives, all alone because you got this, girl?
No.
We're previewing The Birth Keepers.
That's on this episode of So Much Crime.
So Little Time. Welcome to So Much Crime, So Little Time. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Dee, and in this episode we'll introduce you to The Birth Keepers from The Guardian.
If you haven't listened to The Birth Keepers yet, that is great. This is one of our preview episodes.
Here we only discuss episode 1 and introduce the series. No spoilers for what's to come. Although it's not good.
You'll also find a link to The Birth Keepers in our show notes.
In our next episode, we'll discuss the whole series, but right now we just want to decide if this is a crime that's worth your time. Before we jump into today's episode, just a warning at the top of it. The Birth Keepers deals with some traumatic birth stories, topics about pregnancy loss and maternal fatalities. And if this is a topic that you would like to avoid, please do avoid this episode and the recap and come back to us when we have a new episode out next week.
All right, but Dee, before we get to the story and some pretty heavy stuff, let's do something a little lighter. Let's hop in the time machine. This story, and at least in this first episode, doesn't really happen at a specific time. We do get one date, which is the date of one of the people we hear from when her water broke, which is July 3rd, 2023. And so we're going to go back to then. But then also this organization that we're talking about is the Free Birth Society, and their headquarters is Hayesville, North Carolina. So we're going to take the time machine over to North Carolina too.
Jeff, how many marathons are you on in North Carolina?
None yet. I am being recruited for one, but not yet.
You have a marathon running friend who resides in North Carolina. Is that correct?
Do, but haven't made it out there yet.
Yes. Growth mindset.
Mm-hmm. It's coming. All right. Do you want to go to Hayesville first? I have one restaurant review.
I would like to metaphorically go to Hayesville.
You haven't been to North Carolina?
No.
Have you been to South Carolina?
No.
East Carolina?
No. I do have someone who keeps telling me I should visit South Carolina.
Charleston?
Well, I don't know where they are, but I think they said that they'd meet me.
Okay.
So maybe one day. But I'll tell you what, I won't be running a marathon.
I did run a marathon.
Running to the bar for a margarita.
I did run a marathon in South Carolina. It was fun.
Of course you did.
Yeah.
Never even thought about crossing the border over to the north side so that you could just like tick it off your list.
I actually flew into North Carolina and then drove across the border.
Seems inefficient. I do feel like as someone who wants to run marathons in all of the states, like there's surely a more efficient way to do it. Surely there's marathons that like go across state lines.
That doesn't count. There's rules. There's rules to this, day.
What?
Yeah, there's actually very specific rules in the very unofficial.
Made up by who? This is all made up, Jeff.
Yeah, but you can get a t-shirt if you do it all.
Okay. You know, you could buy yourself a t-shirt.
They actually give you a t-shirt every race, so I have so many t-shirts already.
So many t-shirts, so little time to run a marathon in every state.
Yeah.
Without adding some efficiencies and doing a twofer or a threefer.
Anyway, let's go to Hayesville. I want to take you to a restaurant. It's a fancy restaurant.
Okay. Like white tablecloths.
I don't know. I will tell you that they have entrees that cost over $100 on the menu. They actually have, I'm just looking at the menu now. They have a 30-ounce dry-aged tomahawk ribeye.
For a starter?
No, it's an entree. I said entree.
Oh, sorry.
That goes for $149. The starter menu, let me go over to the starter menu and tell you some of the things that you might get. They have a pork belly that's only $8. They have a crab cake for $18. Escargot. They have escargot on this menu.
Escargot.
They have caviar. Ooh, Caviar is $180. How much do you think the soup of the day is?
Soup de jour?
Let me give you a reference point.
$18.
The mushroom bisque with Madeira, cream, and brie, not creme, but cream, and brie is $8. But how much do you think the soup of the day is?
5?
MKT. Market. Yeah. What's in the soup of the day?
Why did you just trick question me on soup of the day? Like, that's such a random place to trick question me.
I don't know.
Like, how much do you think it is? It's market.
What do you think the escargot costs?
Je ne sais pas.
$10. Helix snails in parsley and garlic butter with puff pastry. Anyway, this place is expensive, and
You're putting the snails in puff pastry.
I guess so.
That feels like you're trying to hide the snail vibes going on.
Have you eaten
You
snails?
don't put, yeah,
Do you like
but you
them?
don't put them in like you don't put them in like puff pastry if they're good.
All right, we should probably get to the review. But anyway, I just want to give you a sense of where we're at this restaurant in Hayesville. I have one review and the owner's response. So again, this is a place called the Copper Door. It has 4.8 stars out of 5 on Google out of 982 reviews. Very fancy restaurant in Hayesville, North Carolina. This is a review from someone who goes by the name H or H.
Like your man from Steps? S Club 7?
I don't know what you're saying.
Do you not know the band S Club 7?
No.
Ain't no party like an S Club party. Gonna show you how. No?
No idea what you're saying right now.
Really? Wow. That's sad. I'm sad.
All right, let me get to this review from H. H is a local guide with 69 reviews on Google. And this review is from 5 years ago. It's a 1-star review of an otherwise lovingly reviewed restaurant. And I want to say,
To be clear, you don't know the band Steps either.
No. Are they an Irish band?
No, British. 5, 6, 7, 8. My root good and baby is driving me crazy. You don't know that song? Session for a Western, my dance for a day. Romeo, Romeo, cowboy down from
You can keep singing.
No?
I don't know.
Okay, go on.
Okay. I want to stress, I picked this because I thought this was the best of many like this in the 1-star reviews where, well, let me read it. You'll pick it up on it. So here's a review. The food was good, but severely overpriced. The steak quality was bad, like so bad that it would make Gordon Ramsay ask if they were mad for charging that price for grade D meats. Do yourself a favor. Save the $75 per person, not including drinks and the coffee they offer at the end, and buy your own appetizer, salads, steaks, coffee, and dessert. It will not only save you money, but the letdown. On top of that, the staff was rude and snobbish. Except for our waitress. She was amazing and friendly. Virgo Club for the win. I wish I remembered her name. Sorry. Okay, that's the review. The response. The owner responds to a lot of negative reviews. And this is typical of their response. H. So which of our staff was rude and snobbish? Everyone except your server? Not sure which steak you had, but that would be completely out of character for the hundreds of glowing reviews on our meat by Lynn's Heritage Angus Steaks. If you like to read a story of dedication to quality, look them up and then read some of our reviews. The base menu is $65, not $75. And the average check in our bar, which offers an a la carte menu, is closer to $80. So the dining room is a value. I'm sorry we disappointed you, but I would say we are probably just not your type.
I appreciate that, like, we're not your type. Like, it's why sometimes some of the reviews that you read out bug me when I'm just like, buddy, get off your high horse.
Sure.
You know, it's kind of frustrating. With this one, I feel like they're just like, it's not worth it. But I don't know. Is someone sitting there being like, it'd be so funny if I was like, I'm going to get my own appetizers, my own steak, and my own drinks so I can eat at home. Ha ha. Like, I don't know.
See, I think they're both wrong here. The reviewer is whiny and ridiculous. Like, you chose this restaurant. You knew this was an expensive steak restaurant. Maybe you had a bad steak. Okay, that happens. But then the owner's like, it's not 75, it's 65. Seriously, bro. Like, it's...
Like, are you doing plus or after tax and after tip and after whatever? Let's not argue over $10. You know, also the other thing I will say, I sometimes think I seem like what's the word when you're like, you're behind the owners more than you're behind the patrons? Is there a word for that?
Probably.
Okay. Well, I feel like sometimes I'm that word that you're going to figure out. I think I'm sometimes that because I'm like, it must take like a shed load of energy and time and money and passion to set up like a restaurant, especially if it's like really high quality. And I can kind of understand if someone comes in and like trashes you like that and you're just like, what's your problem? First of all, you're incorrect and I'll call you out in your bullshit. You're 65 versus 75. And second of all, look at all the other reviews. It's a you problem, not an us problem. I can understand why you would want to do it.
Sure. I mean, having never run a restaurant, but having watched a lot of TV about restaurants.
It's the same thing I've heard.
It seems really fucking hard. Like, it's, no one runs a restaurant to like get rich easily.
Mm-mm.
It's really hard. I mean, Gordon Ramsay is name checked in this. Like, I've watched both, like, I've watched a lot of his shows, and those shows where he goes in and picks apart people's terrible restaurants, was it Kitchen Nightmares? Is both sad because those restaurants are legitimately terrible, but also like they're trying so hard, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And they just are bad at their jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I feel like we have this conversation a lot. Some people are just bad at their jobs. And it's not that they're mean or bad people. They're just trying the best they can.
They just really are.
Yeah, they just suck at their jobs.
I don't know why this tomahawk steak guy who's going to be charging so much money, I'm giving him any sort of empathy.
It's a lot of money for a steak.
It's too much money.
For a piece of meat.
Like, but also, if the price is there, there's customers willing to pay it. So, like, whatever, buddy, but wouldn't be for me.
Yeah, I'm not going to order a $149 tomahawk steak. Because you know what? I actually looked this up the other day because we're talking about tomahawk steaks, and so I wanted to make sure that what we said was true, and it was. But and maybe you knew this, but a tomahawk steak. So here it's called a tomahawk ribeye steak. Tomahawk steak is just a ribeye steak with a big bone attached to it. Still, they just didn't cut the bone off of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason it's more expensive, and they're always much more expensive just for that bone. You don't eat the bone.
Mm-mm.
It just gets in the way. It looks cool. Anyway, that's my thing.
I'll go quickly. So
Okay.
I was trying to find a way to bring some light, as we do with the time machine, into this. And so what I decided to do, I was like, Jem and I were having some conversations. We were brainstorming. I provided some context for what we were discussing on the podcast and was like, but to start, I want to do something fun. So these are my ideas. So I've kind of a mix of the wild and weird birth quiz that we're going to do that I have sources for and I have checked the source links for, I think. So some are fill in the blank, some are like a multiple choice, and some are true or false. Okay. So, first of all.
Are you currently pregnant? No, I'm not. I do get asked that question.
I thought you were asking me that.
No.
I was like, that went, whoa.
I just have to answer that question every time I go to donate blood.
Okay. We're in Dublin in 2011 and a baby is born, not at the hospital. The baby's birthstone is coincidentally Topaz, which is great because Topaz is where Katie was born. So we're in Dublin. A baby is born at Topaz. Topaz is her birthstone, which is so coincidental. Where was Katie born?
It's like a riddle.
I know.
Was she born in like a topaz mine?
No.
I don't understand what I'm being asked. Where?
We're in Dublin.
Okay.
Going from house to hospital.
Mm-hmm. She was born in a
and
car?
en route to the hospital. She was born in the car.
Is the car a topaz? Was it a toll booth? Did she have
good guess.
a go pat. I don't.
Where might you stop if things are getting close?
If you're in the car, the side of the road.
Or in a forecourt somewhere.
A what now?
A forecourt?
What is a forecourt?
Like a court in front.
This is not an American term.
Okay. All right. Well, she was born at a gas station. There's a gas station chain called Topaz, or there was at that time. So she was born in a gas station or a petrol station.
Oh, I was never going to get
Topaz.
This was too
No,
Irish
I know
for
you
me.
were Topaz mine. How is that too Irish for you? A gas station's not too Irish for you.
You use the word forecourt.
Yeah. A forecourt is not a weird word to
It's
use.
not an American word.
I mean,
I missed this one.
an open area in front of a large building. Did you definitely do 2 English degrees? 3 English degrees? How many did you do?
Yeah, but they were in America. That's not a
But
word.
this
that
isn't
people
a
use.
British saying.
I think it is.
There's also, it's part of the court between the service line and the net. So
Sure. Okay. She was born on a tennis court.
you could have guessed that. All right. A newborn kangaroo is only about the size of a blank and must crawl through its mother's fur into the pouch entirely on its own. So a newborn kangaroo is only about the size of a blank. Do you know this answer?
No.
If you don't, I'll give you a clue. Okay. It's a sweet or a candy is the answer. And it's a blank blank.
Sweet or a candy?
Like you would say candy, I would say sweet.
A baby kangaroo,
Newborn.
like a joey. They're called joeys, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're the size of a candy. It must be a big candy. Like a
2 words.
2 words. I was going to say peanut butter cup. That's 3 words.
Yeah.
What's a 2? I can't think of a 2-word candy. M&M. That's 3 words. Snickers. That's 1 word.
You're really bad at this.
I'm really
I thought
struggling.
these were too easy.
Well, shows you what I know about birth. I don't know. What is it?
I'm really hoping it's true.
I know nothing about baby. I do know that the
Yeah.
What?
A jelly bean.
A jelly Are you kidding?
No.
That's so small.
About 1 inch or 2.5 centimeters long.
Baby kangaroos are born the size of a jelly bean?
Mm-hmm. Appearing like a tiny underdeveloped worm before it crawls into its mother's pouch to continue developing.
I will say that all of like the stuffed animals I was familiar with as a kid lied to me about what a kangaroo's pouch was like. I just thought it was soft and fuzzy.
It's just gooey.
It's gooey. Yeah. It's
Okay, next one.
grosser. Okay.
This is easy.
Okay.
In 2021, a woman gave birth on an N train in New York City while it was traveling where? Across the something. The look in your face made me realize I had to give you more clues.
Was it going between boroughs? Like, was it underwater? Was it going across a bridge?
Yes, it was going across a bridge.
Across the Brooklyn Bridge? Across what's another bridge? The Staten Island's a ferry. 59th Street Bridge?
It says Manhattan Bridge. Is that correct?
I don't know.
It just says in Manhattan. Okay. Come back to me. Next up. Okay, you'll know this. Which land animal has the longest pregnancy in the world?
Elephant?
Yeah, African elephant. Lasting how many months?
It's over a year. 22.
Feeling like I'm 22. You're right.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I don't know how you do that. Okay.
How do I get 4 questions wrong in a row and then nail 22 months?
Can you name any animals who live in the sea? Who lives in a pineapple under the sea? No. Any animals that live in the sea where the male is responsible for carrying the eggs and giving birth?
I'm going to guess octopus.
That's not the one I have, so no.
Okay. How many guesses do I get?
3.
3. That was 1. Octopus. Sea anemone.
No.
Oh, I feel like I'm going to feel like I knew this.
Yeah, you definitely did.
Male. Seahorse.
Woohoo! Jeez, took you ages. All right. A woman in New Jersey gave birth to twins in late 2023. What was the bizarre detail about their arrival?
That's two. There were two of them because they're twins.
Two for... No.
That's too open-ended. I need a clue.
No, it's not.
What's the bizarre detail about their arrival? I mean...
A woman in New Jersey gave birth to twins in late 2023. What was the bizarre detail about their arrival? You do crosswords. This isn't hard.
This is hard. Like lots of things. Like there's the times where like they don't know there's a twin. There's times where there's actually a third. Two different fathers.
Okay, I'll give you some options, seeing as you're struggling here.
Okay.
They're born in different states. They were born in different years. They were born on different continents. They were born 30 days apart.
Well, you said New Jersey, so if it was different states, then the question has a problem in it. I'm going to say 30 days apart.
No. Different years, because they were born in the late 2023. So like...
There was a clue. There was a clue.
I know, this is why I said it was so easy. Okay, last one. True or false? Great white shark embryos have been known to eat their siblings while inside the mother's womb.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feckers.
Yeah. Monsters.
I mean, siblings, you know, they really do tear each other apart, but that's taking it to a new level, isn't it?
Wow.
Anyway, that is it. You're welcome.
That was a mix of hard.
That was a lot.
Horrifying. That was a lot. All right.
I feel like, I don't know, I definitely feel like you're not allowed to be horrified.
Sure. That's fair. That was our time machine for July 2023, Hayesville, North Carolina.
Indeed.
Do you know what helps? I'm just going to say this, and then before we get to the serious stuff, I do know a lot about birth and the birthing process and what it's like to be pregnant and all that stuff from not very personal experience. But I will say this, when you're pregnant or when your significant other is pregnant, you really have a lot of time to kill. And there's not a lot going on. It's pretty boring. And you could really pass the time better by going to patreon.com/so-much-crime, so little time, and signing up for one of our many plans. You'll get all this fun content, extra time machine clips. You'll also get a t-shirt that you could wear to the birth, because you know you're going to want to take that picture, that first picture with the baby. And how great would that be to have the baby there on your chest, all like new and slimy and all scrunched up.
In between so much crime and so little time.
Yeah, like, gotta frame the shot. They gotta move the baby over to the side so you get the logo in the shot. Or, instead of the shirt, get the hat. You can put the hat on yourself or put the hat on the baby. You want to shield that baby from the sun.
Or in your wife. That whoever the person who has birthed your baby will probably have greasy hair and want to cover it up with a hat. So
I'm just saying, it's a great opportunity to wear some So Much Crime, So Little Time swag.
And who needs meditative music during the birthing process when you could put on an episode of Two Egypts talking about true crime podcasts?
You know, I've actually heard from quite a few new parents. One of our mutual friends just had a baby a couple days ago as of when we're recording this. And the dad actually texted me and said the thing that really got them through a prolonged labor was listening to clips from our Patreon.
Disclaimer, not all the facts that you hear in our Patreon clips are accurate.
So go to patreon.com/so-much-crime, so little time. Whether you're pregnant or not, it's for everybody. All right, Dee, let's talk about this podcast. So this podcast, The Birth Keepers, came out in December of 2025. You picked it. You brought this to us. We have two hosts. They are Sirin, Kale, and Lucy Osborne. There are 6 episodes. They're about 40 minutes each. We listened to the first one. What happened in that first episode?
Right. So we get to hear about Emily Saldaya? Emily. That's all she deserves. And Yolanda Norris Clark, who run the Free Birth Society, a community with a podcast that provides coaching and support for women having babies outside of any medical interventions or, scientific backing. It's just $499 a year to join. We also hear from Nicole Garrison. A lot of that first episode is centered around Nicole and her experience of joining the Free Birth Society, or FBS, and basically being so entrenched in that kind of mindset, that radical mindset, that she almost died due to giving birth alone. Yeah, Jeff, maybe I shouldn't be allowed to pick podcasts. Not because I actually think the podcast is bad in itself. I really thought the first episode was done very well. There was one thing I was annoyed about, but I thought generally speaking, Sirin and Lucy did a good job at hosting it, giving Nicole Garrison a lot of space to talk. But Jesus Christ, people are arseholes.
All right, that's our discussion on the birth keep. Tune in next time. Yeah, how many podcasts about pregnancy and birth have we done now?
Yeah, I was actually also thinking about this as we listened.
At least 4?
The doula?
The doula one. So there was the fake doula one. There was the prison doula one. There was the retrievals, the New York Times one about IVF.
But it does turn, what's the stats on the number of people that go through birth?
Oh, I'm not saying.
Or the birthing process.
I'm just saying
I think everyone's gone through birth. Or so I've heard.
Not me. Just showed up one day.
Birthed.
No,
not you.
Just showed up one day, fully grown, size of a jelly bean.
Beard or no beard, nobody knows.
No one can say. No one has ever seen.
I think we've done a lot. We've done a lot of these. I'll tell you what, Jeff. You and I have discussed both, I think, on this podcast and also outside of this podcast, how, particularly in this country, there is an element of fear for some people about the medical system. It is set up in a way that is very hard to navigate, and I can say that as someone who came into it not understanding what was going on, still kind of confused. But I never gave birth here. I was never pregnant here. And I also understand that there's an element of disparity over the people who are not white, who might be black, who might be Asian, who might be whatever, who are coming into the medical system and who are feeling not heard and not listened to. And there is a lot of facts. There's a lot of data to back that up. So people oftentimes are nervous entering into the medical system, particularly at a time in their life when they're so vulnerable, where with pregnancy you are. And I think we've spoken about this before. I think the idea of using that and weaponizing that, I think one of the quotes that I pulled here that Olivia said was the entire concept of the medical system is focused on coercion, or is centered around coercion. It's completely weaponizing the entire system. Is it flawed? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I understand that. And I understand that I don't understand that fully. I will put my hands up and say I'm aware that I don't understand that fully. And you and I have had conversations about that before. But the idea of taking a vulnerability and an area that they know is sensitive to certain people and weaponizing it and using it as monetizing it, using it as a way to say, well, if we just exasperate people's fear of the medical system, we can actually capitalize on that. I think it's fucking disgusting. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, sure. I think I agree with everything you just said. Really. I mean, I think it's important to call that out at the beginning, because I think my first thought at the beginning of this episode was, yeah, I kind of get why someone would go in for this thing, this Free Birth Society. Yeah, there is a lot of bad. And yeah, to your point, I think, and it's not just about people of color, that's true, but also just women in general, right? Women are treated less well. And like, we know that. So I think the appeal of it is there for sure. But it does, I think it does seem like they're kind of just doing a version of the same thing. I've definitely said this before on this podcast, but I think like the angle of the doula is the medical professionals will sometimes play on your vulnerability and your fear and your ignorance to make their lives easier, to sort of turn the birth process into a medical procedure that they can control and is convenient. And I don't know that's always explicit. Sometimes I think that's unconscious, but it certainly happens. But they're doing the same thing with this Free Birth Society. They're preying on fears. They're exploiting vulnerable people. They're preying on their past traumas and negative experiences. And they're manipulating people. And, and I think a lot of things that happen in hospitals around pregnancies can be super dangerous and can cause a lot of harm. But so is this.
Well, I think as well, like in this situation, I don't know if we can have a question mark over whether they realized, the impact of what they were doing. They talk about having women taking radical responsibility if the birth goes wrong. So Nicole discusses reading back over her notes and saying, part of her radical responsibility was saying, if I die giving birth, or if my child dies while I'm giving birth, then I will own that. That is my fault, and I understand, and I'm willing to take that risk. Pause for a second. What? What a way to guilt a woman. Like, they spoke about this being like a feminist podcast and a feminist movement. That doesn't feel feminist to me. That feels like pointing blame at someone. And this whole idea that if a woman goes in healthy and the baby is healthy, the woman will come out healthy and the baby will come out healthy. Honestly, not to make light of this, have they watched Call the Midwife? Have they watched any show about giving birth back in the day? Have they any understanding of when this happened? Yes, of course, the idea, and like some of my friends have had home births and they've been supported and they had the backup ready to go if needed. Yeah. But it was done in a way that was safe. It's like, I understand risk A, B, and C, and this is my fallback. But the idea of ignoring everything, like everything, all ultrasounds, no prenatal care. I'm like, are they taking folic acid? Are they being encouraged to get their gestational diabetes checks to see if there's a way that they need to balance out their diet, or maybe take supplements in order to ensure that themselves and the baby are okay? Are they getting checked for preeclampsia? Like, if just taking out, because I understand a lot of what I understand about giving birth that people really dislike in hospitals is the interventions, is, maybe having to get a section or having to get an epidural or having to give birth on your back when it's not the ideal position. All this kind of thing. I understand that. And I'm sure there's lots more. But what we're talking about here is nothing to do with that. It's actually to make sure that before the baby is even ready to come, that you are healthy.
Yeah.
And how can you know that without this? And this is like, they're deciding to tell people, and it's nothing to do with choice, because like, it's as if they're providing a choice, but they're also judging people who try to say, well, I'll get this medical intervention. I don't know, whether it's an ultrasound or, a blood pressure check, but then I'll birth myself. There's no balance here.
No, that's the thing. That's the thing that I think gets me, and I can tell you have opinions on this.
Yeah, because they're fucking arseholes trying to monetize this and put people in a position to make them feel bad about getting medical advice about something. It's insane.
But your point about balance, I think, is something that really hit me, of like, that's the thing is, and I get it's hard, right? Like, because there's it's hard to know where to draw that line, but there is certainly a middle ground. Your point about like having a home birth, but having the midwife or having the birthing center like available and like being ready to go if you need to, getting the prenatal care so that you know what you're getting in for, where your health is, where the baby's health is. Like some of those things are just sort of like, it's like taking your temperature when you're sick and just like knowing like, let me get a little bit of data to work with. So I'm not just going all on feel. So the thing I brought up, I don't know if you looked at this. Did you look at their website, the Free Birth Society website? They referenced
no, but
it
I have
in
just
the
Googled
show.
them both.
Freebirthsociety.com. If you go to freebirthsociety.com/disclaimers, this was referenced in the episode, and so I thought I would go read it. It's a very long page, and I have not read every word on it, but there is a 4-paragraph section called the No Responsibility Disclaimer. And it's what you'd expect. I'm not going to read it all because it's super long, but the last part of it is, by using this website, you agree that Free Birth will not be held responsible for any loss or damage incurred as a result of use of this website, including but not limited to direct, indirect, incidental, punitive, and consequential damages. Okay, so they say that in a variety of different ways throughout this, including saying that while we maintain HIPAA compliance for our provided services, no confidential patient-provider relationship is established. They also later on say, and this is in all caps under their medical advice disclaimer. In case of a medical emergency, immediately call 911 or your local emergency services. Do not attempt to contact us first or wait for a response from this website or our office. Our services are not a substitute for emergency medical care, which,
What?
from what I heard in this episode,
it's
is the exact opposite.
your-
Yeah. Always seek, and this is in not all caps. That whole part I just read was all caps. Always seek the advice of a medical professional or other qualified health provider if you seek medical advice, diagnoses, or treatment. While we seek to develop strong and supportive relationships with you, we recommend maintaining an ongoing relationship with your primary care physician.
I wonder when this was most recently updated.
So they,
Because, like,
yeah, they mentioned in the episode that they did add some things, and I don't know what exactly they added in response to some of the things that happened and the press that they got. But it does seem like their disclaimers page on their own website refutes everything they seem to stand for to cover their own asses because they know they're frauds.
But, that's the kind of, I think, frustrating thing, though, is that if this was a case of Free Birth Society and like this is the thing and it's all about choice and we believe a woman should be able to give birth in a majority of circumstances, if they are well and healthy, they should be able to. And the recommendation was like we can give you tips for it, and obviously they can't guarantee everything. Even if you go through ultrasounds and all the prenatal care and everything, we all know that sometimes things go wrong. So if they say like, yes, give birth on your own and do it this way, and we can help support you in that, but make sure that you're talking to your primary care physician. Make sure you just have a backup. Yeah. Just in case, which, as I said, is my experience with friends who have had home births. Mm-hmm. That's not, and I just want to make it clear because I did come out very strong against this situation a few minutes ago. That's not an issue. That makes sense to me. Yes, provide the information of how someone can do this in a safe way that is backed by science and is making sure that women don't get tricked or don't feel shamed because they want to make sure that their body is, and their baby and their mind is healthy.
But that's
to the case of like Nicole Garrison in this episode, hearing how she was actually in a really bad way. Her partner called an ambulance and she sent them away because all the like teaching about if you need them, like that's you failing and you need to own that.
Yeah, it's a manipulation and bullying and brainwashing that almost cost her life.
Yeah.
She almost died.
I don't know what the situation is with midwives here. I know the situation with midwives in Ireland. There's schemes where you can have a midwife-led birth in Ireland. If you really want like as little intervention as possible, doctors are there, but like the primary go is midwife-led. But in this podcast, it talks about licensed midwives who savaged women's birth. And like talking about this whole undisturbed real birth. Real birth? Are you telling me the births, like the two kids that I birthed, it wasn't real? Like,
oh yeah, I actually meant to tell you that actually you've never
no, I haven't done it properly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry to be the one to break it to you, but that's the case.
I just like so often we talk about so many horrible people on this podcast.
Sure, that's what we do.
And yeah, and like this, there's something just extra gross about someone who's coming out, who's wearing a fucking, have you seen this picture of her? Wearing her crown in her white robe.
Sure.
With her pregnant belly, being like, basically, I'm a goddess, is kind of the vibe she's trying to give out here. And to prey on women in that vulnerable state and to make them feel bad for seeking help, I don't know. The whole thing wrecks me.
One other line from that medical advice disclaimer that I didn't read. The information provided on this website is for general information and sales only, and is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. So that last part, the not medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment, they say 1,000 times on here. But the information on this website is for general information and sales only. That's what they're doing. They're just trying to sell you something. They say it. It's right there. It's on their own website.
I just I don't know.
It's gross.
There's something so gross about it.
It's real gross. Yeah. Like, of all the podcasts you could listen to, of all the podcasts you could give your money to, you could give your money to us.
Patreon.com/so-much-crime, so little time.
We think you should see your doctor.
We will not give you advice on who you need to go to. If you want a free birth, you free birth. If you want to see a doctor, you see a doctor. You do you, and just make sure that you are making a right decision for you. That's patreon.com/so-much-crime, so little time. Seriously, I don't know. Am I like lethargic, like exhausted, exasperated with all of the evil in the world that two women who are trying to make themselves out to be so pure?
The hypocrisy of that, I think, is partially what's so
hypocritical.
Awful. The smugness of it.
And your one Yolanda has like a Substack called The Free Birth of Jesus. I'm like, it's fascinating to me that Mary's birth of Jesus was unattended, i.e. a free birth. Blah, 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 blah.
I don't know. I know women have given birth without medical treatment, not in hospitals, for thousands, tens of thousands, since people were people. But you know what happened? A lot of those women and a lot of those babies died. They died. Like, a lot. That was pretty damn common. And has the medical system swung too far? Maybe. But you know what happens most of the time? They don't die. They're still alive. And like, if that's the bar we're working with, but again, like, I come back to this, like, it's so frustrating because so many of the principles of this are good, of like empowerment.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, like, that's what I hate, that like co-opting.
I think that's the worst part.
That's the worst part. Yeah.
Come here. It's similar to NXIVM vibes, though, I think, with
NXIVM. Yeah.
With like the language, you know, the way they have this like same language that they use, like, in the situation, we wouldn't call an ambulance. We would say, your body knows what's best.
It's the radical responsibility.
No hemorrhages also. Are you kidding me? You have never heard about a hemorrhage after someone has given birth. Bull frickin' shit. Anyway, we haven't actually spoken about the podcast. I thought it was dealt with really well. I am looking forward to listening to more of it because I would like to hear about how much shit they cause, these two, Emily and Yolanda, because I just want shit to be thrown at them. I'm annoyed at them.
So I agree that I thought it was a well-made episode 1. I feel like the host did a good job. I did like that we heard, you said this at the beginning, but I liked how much we heard from Nicole Garrison directly, and she was able to tell her story, and I thought it was very powerful. I'm worried about the fact that this website is still up and we haven't gotten to the baby loss yet. And so those two things I think are going to make, like, I'm worried I'm going to get to the end of this and be real just madder than I am now. But we'll see.
The only other thing that like I kind of didn't love was, I think it was, let me see.
Yeah, what was the weird thing?
Was it Sirin who spoke about, or was it Lucy? I can't remember, who kind of dropped basically the reason we're doing this podcast is because I saw a video and it was so horrendous. One of them dropped like a line about having seen a video that was so horrendous, but they'll come back to speak to it at a future point.
Oh, that rings a bell. I listened to the beginning of this so long ago. It was like last week.
I can't remember who it was. And that kind of annoyed me a little bit because I was like, I get it, obviously, but I don't. Like, there's enough going on in this episode that you don't need to drop that.
It's a little packed.
I didn't. Now, this is nitpicky because, actually, as I said, I do really like it, but it kind of just dropped in there. And then the other thing which was interesting is like the start is Lucy speaking to Serendipity Day.
Serendipity, yeah.
But then, I don't know, there was like a little bit of conversation there, but not a huge amount. And I'm like, is Serendipity going to spend more? Like, are we going to hear about her more?
I don't think we came back to Serendipity in this episode because I wrote down the name Serendipity Day because it's a great name. And then I don't think we heard from her. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, am I excited about listening to it? No, because I'm going to be angry, but at least I can be angry at something else.
Sure.
Add it to the fucking pile. What about you? Are you like, do you want to listen? Like, if I was like, fuck this, Jeff, I don't want to listen to anymore, would you be like, great, I don't want to?
Yeah, I wouldn't keep going.
Okay.
I would stop.
Look. Oh my God. Jeff, I'm so proud. Look at you, so far off that fence. So far.
I can take a note sometimes.
For context here, I've been giving Jeff shit for not getting off that fence and being like, no, I don't mind listening to it. It's a well-made podcast. I'm like, just say no if you don't want to.
Before we go, just a quick note. Please, if you haven't yet, leave us a rating. Spotify, Apple, wherever you are listening.
5 stars.
While you're there, leaving that 5-star rating. Leave us a comment. Woo. We love to hear from all of you what you thought about this episode, what you think of us, what you think we could do better, what your favorite things that I said were. Did
you know that male seahorses give birth?
Yeah.
And that there's jelly bean kangaroos hopping about the place. Oh, God. That just happened accidentally.
All right. And you can tell a friend about any moment, including that one, the jelly bean moment. We do appreciate it. Thank you for spreading the word.
Woo!
Next time, we're probably going to get more stories of free births going poorly.
We're recapping all of the birth keepers.
Can't wait.
That's on the next So Much Crime.
So Little Time.
So Much Crime, So Little Time is a production of MimeGov Media. The executive producer is Paxton Calariso. Our associate producer is Blythe Ty. Theme music was composed by Vyacheslav Starostin. If you haven't done it yet, please subscribe to this show in your podcast app. Don't forget to give us a 5-star rating and a review. Even better, tell your friends. To join the discussion, look for us on social media. Check out the show notes for all the links. Thanks for listening.